Thank you. The therapy that will be talking about today is called solution-focused therapy. Solution-focused therapy is a short-term intervention that helps clients find solutions to their problems. Solution-focused also focus on the client's goals and able to attain a positive outcome in regards to their solutions. Solution-focused also assumes that the client is aware and capable of resolving their own problems and finding solutions to their problems. Some of the basic tenets of solution-focused therapy is that solution-focused, it focuses on solution building rather than problem solving skills. Solution-focused also looks at exceptions where the time the problem could have happened but it did not happen. Solution-focused therapy also focuses on the client current outcomes versus the past and the present outcomes of the client's problems. And solution-focused also believes that small changes can lead to big changes in regards to the client's solutions to their problems. So that is the therapy that I will be talking about today. It's called solution-focused therapy. And now we will go into the role play of solution-focused therapy. Thank you. Thank you for coming in today, Mr. Scott. My name is Miss Reinhardt. How may I be of assistance to you today?
Well, I'm just trying to find some answers to my current problems of dealing with my past experiences in the military and my own application of alcohol, which has gotten out of control and has caused me more problems.
Okay. Well, it sounds like it's a serious problem. So how have you been handling the problem in the past?
Well, I have sought out counseling and group therapy with some of my past military members and some of their friends.
Right. So can you tell me about a time when when it started? How the problem came
Well,
about?
I'll say the problem really was more recognizable not during my military career, but when my transition from military to civilian, and I was not able to release or let go of my past experiences in the military. That was kind of critical.
Well, can you expand on some of the things when you say not they're critical? What things are? Can you expand a little bit more on that part of it?
Well, I was diagnosed with a post-traumatic stress disorder, and my lack of ability to sleep throughout the night, and also memory lapses and concentration.
Right. Okay, so how have you been able to cope with it so far? How have you been dealing with this problem so far since you've been out the military?
Well, I have been given medications through the VA hospital, and I've received some physician assistance that has helped me cope with it to the extent where I can at least function on a daily basis.
Right, so this sounds like it happened when you were in the military. So has the problem continued throughout you getting out the military, and has it continued throughout?
Yes, absolutely. It comes in spurts. It comes and goes. I fade in and out of reality of what's in the present and in the past.
Okay. So, and you said it happened when you was in the military.
Yes.
Now, what the medications, are they helping you any? Or any of the medications seem to help control some of the alcohol addiction?
And to a certain extent, but the side effects, I think, are more severe. So I think the alcohol helps suppress the side effects of the medication.
Okay. So what have you tried before before getting the medications? Have you tried anything differently with, like, trying to stop from drinking alcohol?
No, I'd be honest with you, no.
Right, because it sounds like you're drinking too much alcohol, but you're not we want to separate that from, you saying you're alcoholic. We want to separate that totally from that entity. So if you're having a problem drinking too much alcohol, we need to focus on what are those things that are causing you to drink. Can you tell me about some things that may have led you down that road? Is there any past experiences or?
I feel that, just overcome by feelings of anxiety, isolation,
Okay.
and then being brought on by with depression.
Right. Now, when you say isolation, can you expand a little bit more on that?
Just at the point where I just feel that I'm not really belonging or fitting in to my current world or my social circle that I need to function.
Right. Is that some of the things you feel are triggering you to drink? Is that when you say you're not fitting in your current world, what do you mean by fitting? Can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, just my ability to interact with people that's non-military,
Okay.
or who cannot share in my experiences.
Okay. So then that you feel like that makes you want to drink, or are those some of the things that influence you to drink, that you're separated from your military friends at this point?
Oh yes, that's the best way I can explain it when it deals with my frustration and anger, and I might be inability to cope.
I got you. So how have you managed to cope with this problem so far? I mean, what things have you been trying to do? I hear you say that, you know, your friends and separating from the military has caused some of the alcohol for you to drink more alcohol rather. So what are some things that you have tried to stop doing to try to help you cope with not drinking so much?
I just try to take on other activities, physical activities, take on other, what we might say, just hobbies, things that keep me busy.
Right. And some of the hobbies will be, what were some of the
Well,
hobbies
just
you play?
mostly I spend a lot of time in the gym. I spend a lot of time just, like you say, doing a lot of research and reading,
Right.
and mostly do social media.
Okay. And has that been helping you some with the social media?
Yes, to a social extent, it does have to give me more interaction.
Now, what kind of social media? Can you expand on that more?
Just sharing the what you call the more updated social of the news, and staying on the interactive groups on the internet with fellow military people who may be experiencing the same things that I have. So.
Right. So it sounds like what I'm hearing is that your connection to the military helps you to not drink. Being connected with your friends, whether it's through social media or just interacting with them, has helped you not to drink so much. It sounds like that's what I'm hearing from you.
That I would say that's mostly absolutely correct. It takes away the feeling of isolation.
Right. So it sounds like we just need to build upon those goals of some goals of helping you to not drink, which would be, like you're saying, the social media, interacting more with that. Now, what type of environment, did the environment trigger anything about your alcohol? You drinking too much alcohol?
Well, I would say yes, to a certain extent of when there is an environment that is brought on with or there's a hostility or there's some friction being brought on, then it can bring back my experiences from the past.
Now, when you say friction, what experiences from the past are you referring to?
Just any form of conflict where there's a resolution in place, but I'm meeting resistance.
Okay, and can you expand a little bit more on that?
Well, just like when time there's a disagreement with coworkers, or there's a disagreement with the person involved in me trying to accomplish my job per se, or maybe even in the form with supervisors.
Right. So how have you been able to deal with that so far, with those issues that come about concerning your drinking?
Well, like I say, I've been practicing, taking the time out, trying to relax my mind, slow it down, because I do get a little hyper, and things tend to go into overdrive, a little high speed.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you have some, definitely some strengths that what I'm hearing from you. You got the social media that's keep you connected with your military families. That seems to be positive in helping you not drink. It sounds like you also, I think you said you have some physical activity going on that kind of helps you to not want to drink too much alcohol. So it sounds like you're heading in the right direction, and you have a lot of positive strengths in regards to not wanting to drink too much alcohol. So can you tell me then, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to wanting to stop drinking alcohol too much, and with 10 being the highest?
I would say, be honest, a 7.
Okay. And how motivated would it take for you to get to be an 8 or 9 to stop drinking alcohol?
It's just a more in-place support system that's keeping me focused on what I need to do.
Okay. And now with your support system, do you have a strong support system in place?
I'll be honestly, frankly, no, not necessarily. That's why I say about a 7, because the support system could be a lot stronger.
Okay. And now, how will you want that support system to be stronger? What would need to be in place for your support system to be stronger?
Yeah, I would say just on a constant, consistent group meetings, interaction with others have my same difficulties.
Okay. That sounds like you have a very tight, strong bond with the military, and that has a big emphasis on your drinking and not drinking. So that sounds like staying connected to your military family, whether it's through interacting through social media or just fellowship. And it sounds like this has a big strength in your life with keeping you not to drink so much alcohol. So that sounds like a very important factor, that's strength that you have. So if you were to wake up, say if you were to go to sleep tonight and you woke up in the morning, and what would be different? What would you realize that would be different, that your problem would be resolved? Will you notice anything different in your problem being resolved?
I would say, just less feeling of anxiety, paranoia or schizophrenia, you may say, that I would say that that's I would say I have the feeling of just moving on.
Now, when you say move on, can you expand a little bit more on that?
Less reflection of the past and less in the grasping of the past.
Right. Now, is the past, could you expand on that? Is that more about the past with the military or just your past general?
Well, mostly dealing with the military. I say what brought on the PTSD and those experiences.
Okay. And you say with the PTSD, though, it has got better, excuse me, better through medications that you're on?
Yes, sir. The medication does help with the sleep, but then there's times, like I said, there are side effects where our things are more feelings of paranoia.
Right. Now, with the alcohol, how does that make you feel when you drink the alcohol? How does that make you feel when you drink it?
I think it's just it's giving me a feeling of suppressing the paranoia, just to give you more in a relaxed mode.
But then with the relaxed mode, with the alcohol, and you said on the other hand, it makes you maybe, it might not make you feel so good. On the other hand?
I gotta go from someone turns from being isolation to depression.
Okay.
And back.
So the alcohol can make you go from one extreme to another extreme, it sounds like.
In a slow kind of way, not directly, immediately, but yes.
Right. And so how many bottles or cans of alcohol are you drinking on a daily or weekly basis?
Well, I would say in the form of hard liquor, I'd say in the form of anywhere from 12 to 16 ounces, but when you're talking about the aspects of wine and beer, we're looking at in excess of maybe 12 to 18 bottles a week.
So right now you're drinking 12 to 18 bottles a week. So what would need to happen in your life, or what would need for us to happen, rather, for you to reduce drinking 12 to 18 bottles of alcohol a week? What things you think could help you reduce some of those drinking so many bottles of alcohol a week?
I could say just a more reasonable outlook of what's going on, a more feeling of control that I have, that I don't need a crutch or an assistance of any type of substance.
Right. Okay. And when you say a crutch now, can you expand more on the crutch?
Well, when I feel that the medication is not helping, then I'll be honest with you, I've accepted the fact that I have turned to the alcohol and it has formed a crutch.
Right. So what are some things that you have tried to do to stop it from getting worse? I know you say you tried physical activity and interacting with friends. Are there any other things that you tried to stop it?
To this date, no.
Okay. Are there any other things that you think will help you to stop drinking so excessively alcohol?
Like I say, just more on one-on-one, just counseling when I need it, just an interaction of communication to get me through how I'm feeling, instead of just turning to a substance to you should say, may suppress it, but I want to eliminate it, not suppress it.
Right. Well, it certainly sounds like you have a lot of strengths to suppress it. You know, it sounds like you're doing everything, accordingly to your end, as far as to try to reduce the drinking of the alcohol. There are some things I noticed that you said. Your environment. Is alcohol in the home? Do you bring it in the home, or do you mostly drink it outside of the home? I'm just trying to get a feel.
I'm not a big social drinker, so I bring it in the home.
So you bring it in the home, right? Okay. So those are some things then that you could look at in regards to reducing your excessive alcohol drinking, is to maybe not bring it so much into the home, but if you're going to drink alcohol, try to limit it outside the home. Are those some goals that you think will kind of help you if you didn't bring it into the home, or you think you still would drink just as much?
Well, I think that's why I just more indulge in activities that don't involve or the presence of alcohol.
Right. So what I hear you saying is that the activities you're engaging in do not include alcohol.
No.
They're more activities that are non-alcoholic events,
right,
such as you were saying.
Like I said, my exercise, anything help me expend energy physically or mentally. That's why I do a lot of reading and physical exertion.
Right. So, do you work a job? Do you work?
Yes, I do.
So how are you, when you do drink excessively, how are you able to cope with going to work and being able to function?
Well, like I said, I now reach the point where I feel I'm out of control with the drinking when it comes to my responsibilities. Is when I'm off, and I try to measure calculate the risk so that form that I can function without becoming dysfunctional.
Right. So when I hear you saying earlier you drank 12 to 16 or 18 bottles a week, so what is your work hours then? Because that seemed like it
But like I
was
said, that,
going
I'm not,
to
I mean, referring to it in beer, 12 ounce bottles of beer. I do work a very flexible schedule where I have a short week and a long week, so I have access to plenty of time off.
Okay. So it does not interfere with your work then?
No, it does not.
Just interfere when you're off work and you're trying to do other things as what?
Well, like I say, I don't say interfere. Like I say, it just aids me when my feelings of isolation and anxiety come upon me, or I feel suppressed by it, and then it just gets me where I consider it back to normal.
Okay, I understand, it makes sense. So is there any things that you can think of other than talked about the maybe not bringing it into the home as much? Do you think that would be an option, that if you didn't bring it into the home, then you would not have access to so much, drinking it in the home versus outside of the home? Or do you think you still would drink either way?
Well,
Too much alcohol?
well, I don't know. I don't know maybe what is too much, but I go as needed basis, and that based on how I'm feeling. If I can alter these feelings, then there's a less need, and then there is a less usage. That's what I'm looking at.
Well, you sound like you have the solutions to your problems, already in front of you. You just have to just pour from those strengths. The strengths is, you say, your military interaction still, your social media. Those are strengths. So those
Yes.
are things that you already are doing, and I commend you on doing, that are helping you to, not to drink so excessively. So just continue on that path, and I think you'll be okay. But what I want you to do for me, before we have our next session, I want you to do a homework assignment for me.
Okay.
I want you to document from from this day to the next time we meet, any changes, positive changes that you've noticed with your drinking habits since we've had this session. Just document those things, and you can write them on a piece of paper, however you want to do it, type them up, and bring them back to you at the next session. And then that will help us to see if those strengths that you're telling me you have are really working toward you stopping to drink so much alcohol, which I believe they are, because it seems like you have the strengths and the solutions to your problems. You just have to see it, and then you have to continue to walk that path to achieve those goals and outcomes. So is there any other things that you want to discuss in regards to your alcohol, excessive alcohol drinking?
No, not this time, no.
Okay. Well, again, if you could do that homework assignment for me and bring, back the paper documenting any positive, of course, things that have happened in your life since we've had this session, that will help us to continue to build upon your goals. And some of the goals I think that we need to probably talk about before we end this session is, you said the goal of maybe not trying to bring alcohol into the home. We can try to work on that goal. We don't bring alcohol into the home as much. I think that will help to eliminate some of the excessive drinking, because you will have to have access to outside the home to go get it. And I think that will help some in that area. What about your friends? Now, you said you have military friends, but you're out of the military now. Are there any other friends that you have that are not in the military that you maybe associate with that drinks?
No, that's why I want to do isolation, because most of my friends are long distance. They're not in the immediate area, so there's not physical interaction, just verbal communication.
Okay. And how's that verbal? How do you do the verbal?
Just telephone calls.
Telephone calls. Okay. So so pretty much you're drinking alone.
Yes.
You're not having any other.
Absolutely, I'm drinking alone.
All right. Well, I think a goal would be definitely for us to maybe eliminate bringing alcohol into the home so much. I think that would help with you not drinking so excessively with your alcohol problem. Another goal I think we could work on, you're saying that your support system is not as strong. They do have, groups you can actually talk with that can help in that area with support system. It's Alcohol Anonymous groups they have, and these groups are very beneficial and supportive in people that think they have a drinking problem, and trying to help them overcome their goals as well. So those are some things you can also look into for as a support system. Have you ever thought about any of those things?
I guess I used to probably seek out some more information to gain that access. I know that out there everybody needs to probably more actively seek out the information to bring that into play.
Right, because those groups are really beneficial with helping to identify, you know, and helping people who think they have an alcoholic problem to overcome that challenge in their or obstacle in their lives. So that's something else I will consider, will set for a goal for us to do between now and our next session. If you might want to look into some of those alcohol, you know, anonymous activities or
Okay.
agencies, just as a support system.
I'll do that.
In regards to, we said, eliminating some of the alcohol in the home. And so when we come back at our next session, you know, we would look and see how some of those things help you to not drink so excessively, from what you're telling me you're doing now.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So I thank you for coming in today, Mrs. Scott, and I look forward to seeing you at the next session.
All right, thank you.
Very much, sir. And some of the disadvantages of working with solution focus is that solution focus is a short-term intervention, so sometimes the therapy sessions may not, you know, your client may not feel like they're getting enough sessions and able to find solutions to their problems. Also, the therapist may also have to deal with new clients because the clients are not always on a routine basis with scheduling because the sessions are so short. Also, with solution focus, some of the disadvantages of solution focus is that the opportunity to explore the presenting problem, the client may not actually get a chance to go into more in depth about their problems with solution focus. Also, with solution focus, the disadvantage is that if the client feels that he wants to end a therapy session, then they pretty much can take credit for what has happened in the therapy session. But if it doesn't go well, then the worker, of course, has to take responsibility for what did not happen in solution focus. But some of the advantages of solution focused therapy is that it works really well with families, adolescents, and children. Also, solution focused advantages, the client and the therapist can also define goals together. So the goals are defined together versus the therapist defining the goals for the client. And also another advantage with solution focus is that even though it's only 5 sessions, it can be very highly recommended for overcoming solution to problems. Thank you very much.